My daughter's father wants to use her as therapy for his wife. Update, by user TaSingleMom. Hey everyone, I decided to post a last update, since I will be going full silent for a long period. For those that didn't know, I'm right now dealing with my daughter's father and his delusion. He wants to use my daughter as a therapy doll for his wife that recently lost a child. A lot people were worried for my daughter and me, and I truly appreciate it. We're both safe, she's currently having a great vacation with her godparents, and I'm currently making my own arrangements to move on. My lawyer is working hard on keeping everything in order. I know a cease and desist was his first action and we are going for no contact. He says we have a solid case and hopefully this will be resolved relatively fast. And by that I mean a year or two. We did get a temporary restraining order. It's only until our first court date, but after it could be extended. I haven't had direct contact with Jeff. He lawyered up too and tried to send a threat to take full custody. My lawyer laughed at it since his reasoning was parental alienation. Except I have proof I tried for years to have him involved. Apparently turning in a few emails showing my attempts was enough to get them to change parental alienation to a different reasoning. My lawyer is not worried in all honesty. For now I've decided after much thinking that moving is going to be necessary. It won't be something I can do on a whim, but I'll be looking into new houses within the month to hopefully move sometime this year. School will remain the same, but we will be speaking to the admin to make sure only certain people can pick her up. And part of that decision has been to hire a private driver. He's someone I absolutely trust and has worked for relatives in the past, so I'm very comfortable with the idea and so is my daughter. Now I just have to make sure they don't go for fast food every day after school. Things in all honesty are not that scary right now. I have a good lawyer, good evidence, and my little girl is happy and healthy, so I'm just going to focus on working things little by little. Because of the legal proceedings I don't think I'll be posting any updates anytime soon. And to those sending me PMS telling me I'm horrible for keeping my daughter from her father, or telling me I shouldn't have had her in the first place, please kindly speak to the void. I'm too busy. My mother-in-law put my potty-trained son in a diaper, update by user through Amel Diaper. Original. Hey, guys. Thank you for your comments and reassurance. It's good to know I'm not crazy. I didn't think I'd write an update, at least not this soon, but I found out something this week that cemented things for me. Since the diaper incident happened, I'd been wondering where my Mill had gotten the diaper from. When I asked her about it, she told me it was a leftover from when my son was younger. As much as I didn't think that was true, it did make some sense, and she swore by it. When I asked my son back in December, he just told me she had the diaper. After my original post, some people reached out to me with theories about that. I talked to my husband about them, and on Friday, we decided to confront his mother again. We did it over the phone, after our son went to bed. This time, she decided she wanted to come clean, her exact words. She admitted the diaper wasn't a leftover, but rather a new one she bought right after my son's accident. To clarify, rather than obey my instructions and change my son into his spare clothes, my Mill left him alone in her bathtub while she went to the pharmacy near her house and bought diapers. She left my 3-year-old alone in her house for 10 whole minutes because she wanted to prove a point. She claimed what she did was fine because the bathtub was empty and she'd locked the bathroom door. She also said my son was crying when she got home, and she comforted him by saying it would make me and my husband happy to see him in a diaper. And then she had the nerve to say it was good to get this off her chest, and that we could finally move on from this. Needless to say, the word outraged doesn't even begin to cover how we're feeling. My husband yelled at her for over half an hour before hanging up the phone. My husband and I talked to our son about it, and he said he didn't tell us anything because he didn't want us to be mad at him. We managed to reassure him he'd done nothing wrong. We promised he's a big boy, and he'll never wear a diaper again. My Mill called us several times over the weekend. She gave us dozens of excuses, ranging from I couldn't find his underwear, I clearly remember her announcing she had it when she called me that day, to I left my sons home alone all the time when they were younger, my husband had no idea. We lost whatever patience we had yesterday. We decided she won't be allowed near our family for the next 6 months. If she doesn't improve her behavior until then, that will become permanent. She's also uninvited from our son's 4th birthday party next month and won't be allowed to see our daughter at the hospital when she's born. I'm due in May. We sent her a text with the above before blocking her. That was all yesterday, so we'll see how it goes from here. Even if she does change, she'll never be allowed to babysit our kids again. We have other people who can take care of them on occasion. Yes, I know it takes a village. It also takes population control. Again, thank you all. I'll let you know if anything happens. Another entitled parent on a plain story, by user Long Lost Neverland. So me and my BF booked Menorca. It was our first holiday together and we paid extra to sit next to each other. We got on the plane and for a while no one sat next to us. However, towards the end a family got on, 2 kids and 2 adults. We heard them say their seats and I heard the mother say her seat was next to me. Only she didn't sit next to me. Her, the other adult and one of the children sat together and put a child who was no more than age 5 next to me even though the other seats were 2 rows back. Like surely you would sit both kids with one adult and the spare adult sit next to me. Anyway, the kid sat next to us. I didn't speak to her so I didn't seem creepy, and a few minutes later the mother approached us and asked would me or my BF move so she could sit next to her kid. I said no because we paid to sit together, so if we moved we wasted our money, and she just continued to look at me and say but my kid can't sit alone. I told her you sit there and put the kid with the other adult, and she acted like I had just slapped her across the face shouting at me, so you want me to sit with none of my kids? She even said why do I need to sit next to my BF, it's not like we're attached at the hip. Anywhere. After arguing back and forth some old man stood up and said there was spare seats next to him, they could sit there, and then looked at me and my BF and said young people days have no respect for anybody. Like we literally paid over £100 to sit there and this woman was being ridiculous. Why didn't she book seats together? Can someone please confirm I was not in the wrong? My dad is charging half my paycheck in rent, by user significant_egg 291. I'm not going to be able to move safely if he doesn't stop. I'm scared, and don't know what to do. I love him because he is my dad, but I feel like he has mostly seen me and my sister as dollar signs. My brother doesn't have to pay rent and he is 31, I'm 21. I'm going to start my out-of-college job soon and will be making a good amount, and he will be getting a full mortgage payment out of me from my paycheck. He has direct access to my bank account. He is also holding my savings account hostage, saying if I skip out he takes it all. I don't have access to my savings account at all. And it has everything I've saved since I was 12. He has joked about taking what is left of my college fund I saved myself and going on an expensive vacation. I have not relied on him financially since my mother died. He is not poor, he gets paid $60 in HR and he brags about his high paycheck a lot. He doesn't have a gambling problem or any addictions he needs to pay, he just wants control over me to keep me from leaving. I'm worried if this continues I'll never want to see him again. Entitled Parents found my social media after greater than 3 years NC, by user Aggressive Trust 545. Opened social media app to see a follow request from an account in my dad's name. Then saw a message from the same account. They had tried to call me twice and then a message saying, "My name, be normal now, stop your behavior with your sister, let her see her niece. It's a big sin to cut ties with family. You're 30 years old, have some shame now." I know my mom wrote this because it's how she talks. She's talking about my sister who I went NC with earlier this year because of her repetitive abusive behavior. The message made me LOL. It's so fucking insane. Did they expect me to actually accept the follow request and to respond to the message? Do they think I'm that stupid? For some context, I was abused for 26 years until I had my own kids and realized nothing could make me treat them the way I was treated. I finally realized how messed up my parents are. I went NC to protect myself and my family, which led to desperate and pathetic attempts of my parents to try to regain control over me, including physically threatening me and my husband. This led to me getting a restraining order which lasted 1 year. My mum tried to call me last year but I hung up the phone as soon as she said hello and I recognized her voice. This is the second attempt of contact from them since then. Clearly they are still raving lunatics. The fact that there is very little effort to even try and convince me, LOL, why are they even trying? Why fucking bother? There's obviously so much wrong with the message, not least that she's talking to me like I'm a toddler that needs to be reprimanded instead of a full-grown bloody adult. And this is the first thing you say after 3 years of NC? She's never met my second child, she probably only just found out about her, and yet there's no mention of her wanting to see her grandchild? LOL. Not sure what they are trying to achieve TBH, but this just solidified for me that I don't need these people in my life. Face with tears of joy.